Howdy folks, Zach Smith, Pest Dude. We're talking about yellow jackets today. Some people call them hornets, some people call them wasps. Here's the way I look at it. If you're eating outdoors and they're hovering all over your food and they're getting up in your face and they go like this over, this weird pattern in front of your face and they scare your kids, those are yellow jackets. The other species of black and yellow stinging nasty things that a lot of people run into are paper wasps. And they're typically not interested in people, and they're typically not a pest. They're scary looking, and they hover all over the lawn because they're looking for cellulose and bugs. But yellow jackets are the one I want to talk about today because they're the ones that bother you at your picnic. They're the ones that scare your kids. They're the ones that sting in groups when you run into one of their hives, which is often in a hole in the ground. And they're generally little jerks about getting, they really go off when they get upset. So there are traps and there are sprays and there are products sold that are designed or marketed to control yellow jackets, but I'm here to say I don't believe in them, and here's why. Come August time, most yellow jacket hives probably have about 10,000 workers. And in the area where you live, if you've got yellow jackets, there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hives within range of your picnic or your swimming pool. They're everywhere. You're not gonna knock them all out and make them go away by catching them one by one. Now, if you think you're going to lure them away, well, you can do that. It's not necessarily proven effective, but putting something delicious away from where you're eating your picnic, like way off in the distance, will be more attractive to them than your plate of food. Then, it's like a decoy. But if you don't have a acre where your picnic is and you've only got a quarter acre or some small lot, you're not going to be able to put that bait, that lure, that decoy far enough away. You're gonna be luring them in, and they're gonna be checking out what else is nearby, including you and your barbecue chicken and your little kids' sticky popsicle fingers. So I like to say, really know your enemy, and have a realistic approach, because people say, well, I'll call pest control. As a pest pro, if you're telling me you got yellow jackets, I can put up traps. I can put up, you can mix Onslaught microencapsulated insecticide in chunky cat food and put it in a special bait station with the idea that they will carry it back to the hive and feed everybody some of this poison tainted meat. But talking to the entomologist here locally, he said, well, that sounds like it makes sense. There's no peer-reviewed study that shows it actually works. And I've put up those stations in places where, yes, yellow jackets feed on them. No, yellow jackets never go away. So we want them to go away, right? Pest control results that we expect are there was a pest and then the pest stopped being a problem. And that's really hard with yellow jackets. So I want to set the expectation that if you've got them, move indoors, screen off your porch. Learn that in August and September and even October, these things are just totally driven by hunger and thirst. Their food resources are limited. Their populations are huge. The life cycle of most yellow jacket colonies is that you have a queen who starts out by herself in the spring and lays some eggs and gets a little colony going, and that colony grows throughout the summer, and then when the first cold snap hits, that colony largely dies, and then that queen waits for spring again. If you live in a temperate or mild climate, you might have the colony live over the winter, and the colonies just get bigger and bigger. So if you can find the hive, you can kill the hive. That's easy. I would not recommend you do it yourself without a bee suit and some training, because you want to be sting proof. But if you're up for it, buy a bee suit with gloves, full hood. Make sure it's sealed at the wrists, neck, ankles, And you can use a number of products. I'm a fan of dust with a bulb duster, something like alpine dust. There's a bunch of insecticide dusts that you can puff with a bulb duster right into the open hive. You will get swarmed, and people around you who are not in a bee suit will get stung. So you got to be totally aware of the vicinity when you do this, or do it early in the morning when it's a little chilly and they're not really out and about. Don't just take a crack at it. Research it. Watch some videos. I'll do a video. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can shoot the hive from far away with a can of a product like Wasp Breeze. There's plenty of wasp spray products available, and they shoot 12, 15, 20 feet. And now you can stand way back and just hose them down. Be careful, Wasp Breeze stains. It'll stain your house. It's kind of oil-based. Be careful, you'll still cause a little swarm. They may come after you. Generally they don't, but they could. And they can come after anybody nearby, or a dog, your neighbors over the fence. If you got a fence and there's a neighbor having a cup of coffee or whatever on the other side of the fence, they're the closest human to the upset. They may get falsely accused by the yellow jackets and stung. So you got to be aware of what's just nearby that you cannot see, because these are indiscriminate, angry little bugs when they're ticked off. All right, that's what I wanted to say about yellow jackets. Don't get defrauded by a simple trap. If you think about the trap as more of a lure or a decoy to take them away, then hang them up far from where you eat. But if you think you're going to eliminate the colony, the only good chance of getting rid of the colony is to do it really, really early in the season, like before you even think about yellow jackets and barbecues and picnics and pool parties, when it's still chilly and the spring is just starting to warm up. That's about the time you might have a chance of killing the beginning of the colony and the queen. But nobody hangs up their traps then. They hang them up in August and September when it's peak season and it's too late. There's some fun do-it-yourself tricks on YouTube. Nail a piece of meat to a board, turn that board upside down, and suspend the meat right over a big bucket of soapy water. When the yellow jackets nibble off the meat and they fly away, they will fall down a little before they can take off, because the meat is so heavy, and they will fall in that soapy water. And bugs can't float on soapy water. They will become submerged quickly and eliminated. And that works. It's not professional. You're not going to have a professional pest person do that, because it's not going to be approved as a professional method. But you can do it yourself. It's a fun video. I think the fella caught 1,000 in a day. Still, it's how you spend your time. If you want to spend your time all day as a hobby to kill yellow jackets, that kind of stuff works. But if you're trying to live a busy life and enjoy your life, and you just want this problem to go away, you got to really understand your enemy, and it's not that easy. All right, that's enough rambling out of me, but hopefully this was helpful. Hit me up in the comments, or contact us at pestdude.com for more information. I'm happy to help. Take care, folks. Pest Dude out.